Hi guys. So I'm trying to find a good spot to go live for the first time, and I'm here at my Airbnb. Today was quite a day. I actually intended for my first video for this page to be a little bit off the fly, just getting off the road, dropping off my husband to where he needed to be, and I normally have like the morning to just roam around town, find the nearest cafe, Goodwill shop, or um, yeah, just like drive around and look everywhere and then get settled into my Airbnb. Um, and that's what I did. I did a bunch of videos. I even did like a bunch of like hauls, trying on different outfits. Had all these videos. And I haven't done like edited a YouTube video in so long that I ended up really forgetting how to get all of the clips from my phone uploaded to my computer. But one thing I do know about this computer, I can just have videotape myself now. So I'm just gonna do it. Um, Gosh, I've been thinking about revisiting my YouTube channel for so long. I do have another one, and it's older. It's things that I was involved in, years ago, and that was exciting to me. And now I'm in a different season, a different era, and I call this era Annie Aligned. So welcome, and of course, I I've been thinking for really months, like what I would start or what topic I would start with. Um, so many seasons in my life, so many eras, so many lifetimes, I feel like. I'm 49 years old and I am in a very unique era, as they all are just very unique. Um, Trying as it seems like we never, as humans, get out of trying times, even though like we can definitely, if we choose to, like see the blessing in all of our lives. But so I'll just tell you a little bit about myself. I am a wife of 15 years. It'll be 16 years in September. Um, I have 4 children, and I'll actually say 5 in this video because here's the story. Um, I my husband has a daughter, and I include her in my children because even though I claim she calls me her stepmom, and I claim her as my stepdaughter, and that's something that was established early on, what she felt comfortable with me sharing who she is. And I know for all the people that are like, you need to claim her as your daughter, and it was actually uncomfortable and brought hurt unto her for me to do that. So for that reason, I'm very comfortable saying that she is my stepdaughter. I have 3 biological children, and I have a son that was released for adoption 21 years ago. And um, and I will include him in this video, and maybe I will talk about it. So yes, I'm a birth mother, I am a stepmother, and I am a better biological mom. So, and it just so happens that in this season, all of my children are adults, and I'm in a season of like kind of a rebirth in a lot of different ways. And it's been like this for a while. I mean, my kids are in, 23 through 27, and I'm very proud of them all. They're all just finding their way, and things are not easy. Things do not go. If you had results for all of the wishing and hoping and trying and getting back up and all that over again. Like, most of us would have a life full of, uncertainty and turmoil, but I know no matter how much you desire or try to position yourself or try to network and this and that, things still happen and you find yourself in a vulnerable situation. Right now, I desire, like never before, to be aligned with God and to really just hear from Him. And a lot of people like wonder how you can hear from the Lord, versus like having to just live and make decisions. Like, we don't always hear from God pertaining to certain choices, and I think, like, in those circumstances where you don't have a gut feeling to go one way, you basically just go the way that you feel like you should. And if the door opens and you walk through that door, if it closes, it's not meant to be. Or you'll be turned around. Like, don't be afraid to just live and use the brain that God gave you to make choices. But then there's also times where, like, I talk about, like, that gut feeling of not doing something. It's almost like if somebody were to tell you to, like, have a bowl of cereal with, like, Cheerios and, mix whiskey in there, right? Something about that is not right, right? It doesn't, maybe to some people it might sound like a good idea, but mixing whiskey with milk, no. So anyways, it's like that inner compass that we all have. And some of our inner compasses are different because of the programming we've had in our life, Anywho, yeah, so, gosh, what else? So many different things, and I promise next time I'll be a little bit more focused on what I'd like to talk about. But I'll share some of the themes in my life. I was a stepdaughter. Um, I was not raised by my biological father. I knew him, and he did die when I was 19. I was raised by my stepfather, who I call Dad. Have 4 siblings. My stepfather, who I call Dad, is still alive, and so he's very much in my life. And my mother. My mother is a Polish and German white woman who has never dated a white man in her life. She is the coolest person you'll ever know. I'm always proud to bring her around. My dad is an avid golfer and mechanic and all around happy country bumpkin. He loves the country. He raised us in the country. Even though we grew up in the city, in the hood, I was like one of the girls that loved being barefoot, which is not safe in the city. But loved animals, frogs, nature, and have even grown more to love it, at this age in my life. As stress comes along and we need to regulate our nervous system, right? If you're still hanging in there with me, I appreciate it. The right people will find me. And if you're like me, you crave connection and community and just grounded conversation. For that reason, I listen to YouTube all of the time, and I find a lot of great just people just shooting the breeze, and realizing that, like, so many people we're just living life wanting to just experience the best and really have peace wanting community, wanting just not an easy life, but just, you know, a good life. Um, let's see, another like theme of my life is, you know, growing up biracial in a mostly black neighborhood in school, and as you can imagine, being being the minority in those environments, and how that's affected me while being the only black person for a long time in my mother's white family, and not having a whole lot of relationship with my biological father's family. They're very minimal until like now. Um, yeah. Then another theme being like married at 21, having 3 children, going through a very traumatic divorce, um, becoming sober at 30, just really wanting to, you know, my life was turned upside down being a young divorced mom with no college education. I went back to school. You know, I just wanted to make sure that my kids, like, I just felt like I had a reset in life, and this time I was gonna like try to become the woman that I'd always wanted to be. And they didn't have a choice, you know, and I didn't want to be poor. I wanted things, you know, I wanted to maybe live in a house, even though back then all of these things were so like, felt like so far away. Marriage again, finding love again, um, having a godly marriage, you know, that means so many things. Um, having a college education, like having a, a career, having a home, you know, back then I just knew that even though my life was turned upside down, um, I knew that school was the first step, and then that's what I did. So anywho, I've come a long way. So I did meet my husband, my second and forever love, um, in 2009, and we married in 2010, and we did not have any children together, but we've been together for 16 years. And yeah, and I was still a babe when I think about it, being 32 and him 42, and just what our life was like, being a blended family. Yes, and then I didn't share in one of my future videos, if you care to hear about my adoption story and my life being sober and going back to drinking and becoming sober again more recently, my reunion with my son that was adopted, my relationship with his adopted mom the whole time, and what our relationship was. Oh man, so many things. So many things. But anywho, if you've stayed this long, I appreciate it. If there's anything that you are curious to know, I would love to find a community on here. If you need any encouragement, even though I'm in you know, a new season of life and change right now, God has been faithful, and I have a lot of stories of just like crazy situations happening. And anyways, I did want to tell you that at the end of this video, I'm going to show a picture of my friend and I. We actually made a contract yesterday that we would upload our first video to our YouTube channel. And her name is Anna. And I want to say hi to her. And eventually I will tag her YouTube channel so you can watch her too. But we're doing this together. And I hope you guys have a great day. And I hope you guys, the people that are meant to find me. But until then, you guys have a great day. Ciao.